said what now?
Please don't bring home any more old crutches.
Hello and welcome to a Tribal Wars video. This week it's Legacy Tribal Wars and the time has come for the companions to take over the format. Or maybe not, we'll see. So I'm playing Flicker Wizards, just trying to take advantage of the Enter the Battlefield abilities of various wizards. We've got Fairy Seer and Overwhelmed Apprentice for Scry, which sets up your draws early. Merfolk Trickster, Harbinger of the Tides. One of them's gone missing, there it is. And Reflector Mage, invents a Shaper Savant to control the board. Watch for Tomorrow, you might not have seen this one. Hideaway, enters tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library and exile one of them. Then when it leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. Charming Prince does a little bit of everything. Scry, gain 3 life, or just flicker something else. Archaeomancer to recur instants or sorceries. We don't have any sorceries, but instants. And Sow of Temptation for some more board control, steal any opponent's creatures. To support all that, we've got Nabon, Dean of Iteration. You get an extra trigger whenever a wizard comes into play. The Stony Brook Banneret because just to make everything cheaper, because you can get bottlenecked on mana fairly easy with this deck, especially if you're getting a bunch of Watcher for Tomorrow triggers. Cloud Shift, the quintessential flicker spell, and Eerie Interlude, which is sort of mass flicker. And then just some Swords to Plowshares because it's a pretty good card if you didn't know. And Mangara of Corondor, some more removal with the ability on Mangara has some non-intuitive interactions because the exiling it is part of the effect of its ability rather than the cost. You can respond to it and flicker the Mangara to keep it and still exile the other permanent. And the only thing really of note in the mana base is Caracas. Obviously very good with Yorion. Keep getting that those Enter the Battlefield triggers. And Riptide Laboratory, which can bounce any wizard you control. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, here we are for round 1. I am on the play versus Arcbound Day Labour. And here we have the slightly odd interface for choosing your companion. So click on it, press OK, and then we get a little heart in the corner to one of these zones. So it looks like I'm facing a cat, beast, nightmare, elemental, or dinosaur deck. Well, this is quite a clunky hand. No access to white mana, although at least no white spells. 2 Vensers, and it's only got 2 drop into a 4 drop. But the Barn plus Venser is pretty nice. And you can Venser targeting itself with one of the triggers and just keep reusing it. Sort of depends on how much time I think I'll have. Oh, I'm gonna give it a try. I am on the play at least, so it's probably not a lightning fast deck. I mean, cats can be reasonably fast, but they're still not the fastest. Yeah, okay, so it looks like cats. Aggro cats. Well, that's white source at least. there's a reasonable chance that the ban will just die. That is often what it does. Ooh, port. Okay. So that may well slow me down, but just vents in response to an activation of it, it won't be so bad. Definitely not the most aggressive start in the world from the opponent. Not having Lone Lion still just be a 1-1. Still not getting up to 2 power, so I don't mind that. Okay, and the band's dying. It's not a huge surprise. Just going to grab the irrigated farmland because I don't need the mana right now. Imported. Wild the cattle. Wait for the pod to be activated, and then well, I was going to say Flash Inventor, but I mean, I don't need to do that. I could just let it get tapped and then play Sower. Thing is, stealing either of these is not too impressive because I don't have a forest, so I could either be a 2. I could either steal a 2-2 or a 1-1. Yeah, I think I'll just Venture. But even then, there's no. I guess there's no reason to do it now. Well, Crackers is a bit of a nuisance, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing I could face against with Venture. I think what I'll try is bouncing that. There's only one forest in play. So I can bounce the tiger. Probably won't. I'll probably just get lightning bolted at this point, or something rude in some way. Searing Blaze, okay. So no opportunity to block. Oh, I'm forgetting which what while the cattle require. Not replaying the tiger. Might indicate another Searing Blaze. And no other lands to trigger it. Okay, so I'm just gonna Harbinger. Bounce the Wild and the Castle. I'm getting ported again now. I suppose I want to Venter in response. Do I want to bounce the lion or bounce the land? Probably the lion. Okay, step link to him. That might be why the tiger was kept in your hand rather than Searing Blaze. My own Caracas. I'm just gonna sour and steal the wild in the castle. And then do nothing, unsurprisingly. Okay, no attacks, makes sense. Kind of imagine my Caracas will get tapped down. Yep. I don't think I want to bounce my Inventor in response, not at this point. That's a pretty nice draw. Okay, so gonna attack just with the flyer. Ambusher. Okay, I guess I'll just swords that. Another ambusher. Okay, well I guess I'm losing my sour and the cottles. Going back to the other side. I guess I'll Chaomancer. Pick that swords back up. And just pass the turn. So my farmland's getting tapped down now, so I have to make my decision about what I'm sorting now. The step links represents the most short-term damage, but the wild Macathle is the biggest creature. Well, I guess what I'll do is I'll float the mana so that I can sword the Kahira if that comes down. Well, no. Probably don't want to do that because it can just get Caracas bounced. I still just want to float the mana. And a Searing Blaze. So this will put me down to 4. targets both the player and the planeswalker, so I can't just source my own Venser to fizzle it. Guess I'll take out the links. I guess there was no reason to respond to the blaze like that. I like bounce, just fetching to get the most life out of the swords. And there's Kahira. So I have to double chomp and I'm going down to 1. And that will not save me. Nor will Yorion. Alright, let's try that one again. Still want Yorion to be my companion. Seems alright. Try and scry into some more land. And a Watcher. So I guess they're both fine. I'll put the islands on top and the Watcher below it. I can play the Stony Brook, and assuming nothing dies, which is a pretty big assumption, reflect it and the Watcher in the same turn. Let me just think. What were the conditions of the ambusher? Does it need a forest and a plains? If a creature is attacking you and you control a forest and a plains, you may play it without paying its mana cost. Okay, so I'm safe to attack with a Fairy Seer. Ooh, it's port again. It looks like the port's probably going to be used. So I'll just be able to play. I'll still be able to play Reflector Mage, so it's not too bad. Attack with everything. Lion, but no forest yet. Guess I need. What I'll do is I'll play the Banneret and then attack with everything. Don't mind trading off the other Banneret with the Lone Lion. It doesn't happen. I'll play the Watcher. I guess I'll take a land. As tempting as Nabana is, I think the land's more important in this position. Okay, just seems like a bad draw from Arcbound over there. This does not seem like it was going to cut it. Oh, it seems pretty bad on the draw as well. Turn 3 Reflector Mage. Is it worse than going to 5 though? I don't even have anything for Archaeomancer to get back. Let's just, I'll just keep it and draw out of the problem, and then I'll be fine. Or maybe I'll get beaten to death by a lone lion. Yeah, that's not the start of drawing out of the problem. Okay, well these loam lines can be blocked by Reflector Mage as well as bounced. Get the farmland. Ugh. Okay, now I feel like I'm in serious trouble. Guess I want to fetch for that tiny bit of thinning. Well, this hardly seems fair. Going down to 8. No more creatures is nice, but that also makes me think there's probably a bunch of burn in hand. And if it's whatever it is, the 3 damage to creature, 3 damage to player, I'm probably just dead. Okay, well, Kahira isn't a Searing Blaze, I think that's what it's called, at least. But I am still taking 3 damage. Ooh. Not being ported. would like to say that seems like a good thing, but it probably seems like a very, very bad thing. I'm just going to Field of Ruin and shoot off 2 swords. I mean, I could also swords and Archaeomancer, but the Archaeomancer's not a very good blocker anyway. Okay, so I'll destroy the port in response. And we'll just see exactly how dead I am. Okay. Let's just kill both of these. Just get burned out maybe. Yeah. Oh well.
Checkmate, Mr. Trampoline. Alright, you win for now.
Right, I'm on the play versus Kumagoro, and this is a bit of a sketchy hand. I think Double Watcher makes me want to keep it. Well, Double Watcher and a way to get the cards out of at least one of them should help me find a third land. Right. Ooh, one of the new triomes. Swamp Forest Island. Farmland. Well, that's another way to trigger a Watcher. Ooh. No lands in the top 4 though. I'll get another Charming Prince as a another way to trigger a Watcher. And at least I took 4 non-lands off the top of my library. Yeah. Pale Rider of Trostad. When it enters the battlefield, discard a card. Kakusho. When it dies, each opponent loses 5 life. You gain life equals to life loss this way. So this is feeling like something of a reanimated deck. Probably spirits. There are some lands. Liliana's not too threatening in this situation. Just sacrifice my Watcher to get that Marsh flat straight away. And then I can Reflector Mage the Trostad and kill Liliana. The fact that Liliana down-ticked rather than up-ticked makes me think that the bouncing the rider, or at least makes me think Kuma's not desperate for more discard outlets, so I don't think bouncing the rider matters. Right, let's just attack for 4. So, just considering either going Watch for Tomorrow and charming Prince to flicker it, or I could field the Triome and just play a Watcher. Yeah, that seems pretty thin. Let's not do that. Mangara. No, I think just go for the more land. I guess I'll go for another Watcher. Tail Rider returns. And Moorcrutch Banshee. When it enters the battlefield, if a creature dies this turn, target creature gets -4, -4. Ah, Recurring Nightmare, that makes sense. So Banshee comes back. Kills the Watcher, okay. I think I'll just go Watcher, hold up Cloud Shift and Merfolk Trickster. Or Eerie Interlude, I suppose. Let's go for Naban. Strangleroot Geist, okay. I presume this will be the Recurring Nightmare. When this creature dies, so I guess if I Merfolk Trickster it, it won't have Undying. I think I'll just Cloud Shift the Reflector Mage and bounce the Strangleroot Geist. That'll force the Banshee to be sacrificed if the to bring Kakushe back, I suppose, I presume. And then I can Merfolk Trickster that and attack. 10 damage. And I haven't played Urine yet at all this event, I don't think. So I'm just going to do that. I mean, I also think it's a good position to do it in, so... But I do want to do it at least once. Bounce the Koku. Let's exile the Watcher. Being even extend step. So I'll also exile the Reflector Mage because it'll come back at the end, the next end step. Just take another Charming Prince. And then I'll be able to bounce anything that actually gets played. Entomb. What are we getting? Cogler the Titan Ape. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. When it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and you can return a human to gain indestructible. So, presumably the Titan Ape will come back. Fight the Urian. But then my two creatures will come back, bounce the Cogler, and I'll be able to attack for lethal, even through the blocker. Yep, there we go. This is not my favourite hand ever. No double blue for the Merfolk Trickster, and then as a consequence nothing for the Charming Prince to flicker. But Caracas does seem pretty good against what Kuma's doing. And Charming Prince can just scry to find him or land or whatever. So I think I will keep it. So yeah, keep it and, well, we'll see what happens. Haven't seen any blue out of Kuma yet. So it's possible this is just a swamp forest that can be, it's just another dual land with cycling that can be fetched with fetch lands. Alright, another land's not a bad thing. I'll probably just flash in Merfolk Trickster this turn. Unfortunately this is a 1-3, so I can't actually effectively ambush it. Just trying to decide whether the tiny chance that the one life mattering is bigger than the tiny chance that there's something else that I want to Merfolk Trickster this turn. Seems pretty... I think the one life will probably matter very, very slightly more. Bloodghast. Alright, let's have a look at what the Fairy Seer sees. Yeah, Reflector Mage isn't bad. I guess I'll just Charming Prince and scry some more. I think I'm happy enough to trade a Fairy Seer for a Permeating Mass. Guess the Merfolk Trickster is probably the least useful. Okay, Kofi sure I can just bounce that with Caracas. that's good enough. Probably would have attacked for 5 and then played Urian. Done the same thing as last game where I used Charming Prince to exile the Reflector Mage. It'll come back on the end step and bounce anything. AJMP has kindly agreed to step in and provide some more content to make up for the buy I had in round 2, and I'm on the play and he's playing Gyruda. Only cards with even converted mana costs. When it enters the battlefield, each player puts the top 4 cards of the library into their graveyard, a creature with an even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. So Caracas is probably not super effective against that. But yeah, I'll keep this. Maybe if I can get up to Venser mana before AJ's got up to 6, I can use Venser to keep him from resolving a Gyruda. Venser plus Caracas. Well, that is sort of an awkward timing for that Fairy Seer. Tribe Elder, okay. Sacrificing immediately. Oh, I suppose it can't block the Banneret anyway, because this is an island. That's not hitting a land is a bit annoying, but I can Fairy Sea, find a land. Do I want a Merfolk Trickster? I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to be cracking the Flooded Strand anyway. Arixmethes Slumbering Isle. Enter battlefield tap with 5 slumber counters on it. As long as it has a slumber counter, it's a land. Whenever you cast a spell, remove a slumber counter. Okay, cool. It's looking like a cracking deck. If Gyruda and Arixmethes are anything to go by. This represents 2 mana, so I think I'm just going to hold up Venser to respond to, well, Gyruda is the primarily concern, but any big spell that might get cast. Unfortunately, Venser's ability does cut through the counter ability provided by Cavern. Attack for 4. Then I think I will Charming Prince, flicker the Venter, bounce the Eryximethus, and then even if AJ does have a 6th land, I can Cloud Shift the Venter to stop the Gyruda. Yep, that's enough of a lock to keep something which I presume is pretty heavy on the high mana cost stuff from being effective. Yeah, this seems too bad. Oh well, I've got a Venser again. So that seems pretty good. Think I'll put back the Reflector Mage. Definitely want the Overwhelmed Apprentice to find more lands. Again, and same thing with Charming Prince. Definitely want the Venser to help lock out Gyruda. So it's a question of whether Sword Supply shares or Reflector Mage is better. Maybe Reflector Mage is better. Yeah, I'm going to put Swords on the bottom. Ooh, Mangara. That's might be a good way of keeping AJ off 6 mana. Yeah, I don't think I want Harbinger. Definitely do want Tundra though. Coiling Oracle. Finding a Misty Rainforest. So there's a decent chance that Gyruda will come out before I can get to Venser mana. This can only return creature cards that were put into the graveyard by the ability. I'm just deciding whether it's better to scry 2 or scry 2 and put 2 cards of the opponent's library into the graveyard. I'll just scry 2 because I didn't think far enough ahead to attack with Overwhelmed Apprentice first. Don't think I want a Barn here. Or the swords. Deep Sea Kraken being suspended. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's suspended, remove a time counter from it. 6/6 that can't be blocked. Okay. Well, that's not a ramp spell to get AJ up to 6 mana next turn, so that's not the worst thing ever. I'm going to play Mangara. Yeah, deep sea Kraken comes a bit closer. But I can probably bounce it when it comes out. Yeah, don't feel like trading Mangara for a 1-1. Ooh. Return all creatures to their owner's hands except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses and Serpents. Yeah, I'll just hold up Venser and at worst I can just bounce one of AJ's lands. Short Calling Oracle comes back. Yeah, I guess that's the best land he's got, so I mean I could just hold up Caracas bouncing my Venser and then recasting it, but then I'm sort of stuck where I am. I could Charming Prince to flicker the Venser and then just bounce one of the Triomes, although if AJ's got another untapped land then Gyruda could just come down. Yeah, I'm going to take that risk though. I don't want to just spend my entire turn playing Venser again. And with Caracas out, if Gyruda comes down and finds a copy effect, I can just bounce the Gyruda to stop it from being copied. Alright, let's see what Gyruda can do. So, Merfolk Trickster from me, but then the Slin Voda. Alright, well, I'll bounce the Slin with Caracas. And then Reflecting Mage the Gyruda, keep attacking. And then I can Overwhelmed Apprentice, and that'll cause the Deep Sea Kraken to come down, but I'll have the mana to sword it. I mean, the Deep Sea Kraken's coming down beginning of the next turn anyway, so... I don't really need Eerie Interlude that much when I've got enough mana for Yorion. I'm just going to bottom both of these. I think I'm fine just taking 6 and keeping the swords until end of turn in case there's something more scary. I mean, I presume with attacking with the Kraken implies there is something to at least block with. Okay, so... yeah, well... 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Block. Yeah, it's probably still right to just swords. And another sword's the next thing. Okay, yeah, double blocking the Venser. I can just bounce the Venser with Caracas. Could also just swords one of them, but I might want the Venser ability anyway, so... So this is what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Right. Fortunately managed to have Venser both games, and it seems pretty good against big mana Kraken stuff. Alright, here we are back with the deck after a perfectly respectable performance. I suppose the big question is whether Yorion is actually worth it. I only played it one time, and I don't think it was the difference between winning and losing, which is not a good sign for it. But on the other hand, I think there is enough redundancy in the cards that having to go up to 80 cards doesn't cost that much consistency. I mean, we've got Fairy Seer and Overwhelm Apprentice, which do basically the same thing. A bunch of bounce stuff that do similar things, and a bunch of flickered stuff that do similar things. So if I was to go back down to 60 cards, I'd probably just be trimming a few things. And so basically what I'm saying is I'm really not sure whether Yorion is still worth it. Maybe 3 matches isn't sufficient to make a full assessment of that. So I guess maybe I just need to play with the deck some more and decide whether Yorion's the right idea, and maybe refine some of the choices a little bit more. Anyway, thanks for watching.